welcome to Crafty Little Things. It's Wednesday and I had promised you that I would show you how to make a pocket letter today because it's 3D project day. Unfortunately the pocket letter isn't finished yet, and so it hasn't gone to the person who's receiving it. I'm doing two the same. They haven't received them yet, so I don't want to show it because I don't want to ruin that sort of surprise for them. So I'm doing something else. Now, you know all about the projects I'm involved in, the various projects I'm involved in. I'm making a set of cards, two sets in fact, for prize winners or little challenge winners. And I'm making them craft, sort of yarn and craft themed. So I'm making 10 of these and I'm boxing them up in two sort of specially made boxes. So I'm going to show you how to make the cards and how to make the boxes, and I'm going to give you a little few tips on sort of batch making. And it's still a 3D project because of the box, so I am sticking to my theme. Forgive me if you can hear noises going on around. We've been so busy today. My daughter is here for a week, and so she's been crafting with me as well, and she's been making some amazing things which I can't show you because again they're going in the pocket letters and they're going to challenge gifts to challenge winners, so I can't show you them, but I will show you them when I can. Right, so I wanted to make quite simple cards and I wanted them to be quite sort of pink and girly, and so what I decided to use was I'm using card blanks that I got, I showed you in a haul not too long ago, from Craft Stash UK, and these measure 5 7/8 by 4 1/8, and they're really nice quality. They cut beautifully. I made a mistake with the stamp inside, one of them, and so I used it to cut up to make the sentiments, and they cut really well, really nice. So the sentiments come from, let me just go through everything at a time. The With Love is stamped in rose red because I've used rose red paper, and it came from this set here which I got on the internet. I've hauled this before, so you've seen this before, and I also have used this ball of wool, and again I've used rose red ink. It's a retired ink, but you can use any pink. I just wanted to use up some rose red paper, some rose red cardstock, so I thought I might as well use the rose red ink. So that's just stamped in there. I've used that With Love stamp. So they've all been scored, folded and burnished. Then I thought what I wanted to do, like I said, I wanted to sort of stick with this pinky theme, so I've gone with these papers. Now these are all from a retired Stampin' Up stack called Love Blossoms. It's a 6 by 6 stack, and it's got some gorgeous papers in it, and it's got some colours that go well with what I was looking at. So it's got the rose red in it, Whisper White, it's got Garden Green, Crumb Cake and Blushing Bride. So I thought, yeah, that gives me a nice palette to work with. So I'm going to use different designs, the floral designs, and I'm going to make 2 of each card. So 2 will be like that. 2. I was originally going to use that side, but I don't have to use. Just one moment. Oops. Just realised that I hadn't trimmed off. I was going to use that side, but then I quite like. No, I am going to use that side. Sorry. It's another one that's similar pattern that threw me off. So I'm going to use that side. And then for this one, I'm not sure because I was going to use this side, and then when I accidentally put the wrong side on, I quite liked it. So I think I'm going to use that side, but I'll get it the right way up. It's such a lovely, delicate floral, that. Then this one, I'm just going to stick with the Blushing Bride. Nice pale card. And the final two are going to be, now, are we going to do them like that, or are we going to do them like that, is the question. I think we're going to do them like this, because they're quite fun cards. So they're all going to be stuck on to there. Now, what I did was, because it's a 6x6 pack, what I ended up left with was some strips, lovely strips like this. And they're perfect for bookmarks, or they're good for sort of edging boxes and things like that. So they're going to be used, definitely. You'll see me use them in the project soon. So my card pieces then measured 5 3/4 by 4, just over 4 1/16 for my, sorry, not my card, my DSP. So that's going to be stuck on top there. Then I thought I wanted it to look a little bit fancy, so I decided to use an edging die that I picked up off the internet. Again, one that I've shown you before that I've hauled, gives that lovely scalloped and stitched effect. And then I just used the rose red and I just stamped on that yarn ball there. Okay. Now, to get these all more or less the same size, because I was working very quickly, I think I managed it. What I did was I measured down 4 inches from the top of my piece. So imagine I had a piece that was the same size as this, and I measured down 4 inches and I put a little score line. And then what I did was I put it on my plates for my big shot, and I lined the bottom up perfectly with the edge of the plates. And then I put my die on the first piece so that the edge of the die, obviously the scalloped edge was here, the edge of the die was on that 4-inch mark. And then what I did was, it came over the edge of the cardstock. I drew a line underneath. You can even see the little dot there where I've touched the paper accidentally. I drew a line underneath so that every time I could line it up perfectly, because every card had a mark at the 4 inches. So I lined it up on there, and then I lined it up with the mark on my plate, and then when I finished I just wiped my plate. Okay. Now for these stamps, you could, to make sure you got them in the right place every time, you could use something like a stamping platform, a Stamp-A-Majig, Stamparatus. I just did it by eye. Okay. So they're going to be stuck onto the card like so. So you've got that nice 2-layered effect. And then I took stitch shaped framelets, and this is the 2 1/8 inch that's going to go on first, and then the white one is 1 6/8, 1 5/8. And I stamped using the Crafting Forever stamp set from Stampin Up, which is still current. And I did it in rose red. Oh, that one's not perfect. I did it in rose red, and I used this stamp here for that. And I just stamped all of those, ran everything through the Big Shot. Like I say, for these sentiments, I used a card that I messed up. And then I took a beautiful little scissors die that I got in a haul not so long ago. It was an online craft sale, somebody in the UK. And I cut these out using the champagne foil from Stampin' Up. I'm not sure if we still do it, or if it retired. And they're just going to go like that. Now I'm just thinking, because they're very similar, I don't know whether to use the other side where the main colour is rose red, because otherwise it's going to be a bit clashy, isn't it? but then I don't think this is going to work as well. What do you think? I think it works. I think it'll be fine. I think it works with all the others. Yeah, it'll work. Right, so the whole point of these cards then really is to give them as a gift to somebody that they can then send out to their crafty friends, whatever, if it's for their birthday or as a thank you or just to say hi, whatever, just to cheer them up if they're feeling a bit down, help someone refine their crafty mojo, whatever it is. So they're going to be put together. I'm not going to bore you by doing it really slowly, so I'm just going to do one and then I'm going to do all the rest, okay? So I'll do one of these first. So this is going to be a job for Tombow. Probably get through a good bit of Tombow doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my layer, my mat. I'm going to get that nicely positioned. Make sure it's right over the card. I've made it only very slightly smaller because I really wanted it to feel like almost like a pocket, if you like, over the top. I mean, it's not a pocket, but... And remember, these are batch cards, so they're really supposed to be quite easy to make. So not too many components in them. I'm just going to pop some, if you just pop some glue on strategic points like the ends of the, you just don't want anything standing up. Just decide where you're going to pop your scissors. If you want to be careful with them, you can just use a piece of scrap card and just lay that on top. I've got a piece here. You want to just use that, just take off any excess glue. There you go. And then for the others, I think I'm going to have to order some dimensionals. I think I'm going to run out soon if I'm not careful. So then I'm going to pop these on with dimensionals. To the background, and you can do all these together if you want. I sometimes find it's better to just do put all my sentiments together, stick all my scissors on and just get it all done like that. Okay, so that's a really nice card there, and then that has an envelope and then they'll go into the box. So that's all I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to crack on with that. Right, so there are all the cards finished. So that's those in the middle, that's those, move them up a bit, those, and those. So they turned out pretty nice. I quite like them. Okay, so that's a nice little set of handmade cards. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make boxes, and they're just going to be a box with a lid, a very simple box with a bit of floral DSP on the top, pink and white. They're going to be a bit of a sharper pink, like the pink in this flower. Okay, the boxes, because I wanted to use up bits and bobs, so it's the best way to go. So what I need for the box then, which is the 3D part of my project, is I'm making 2 boxes. So I need 2 pieces of the pink cardstock, and they measure 9.5 by 8.25, and they're scored at 1.5 on each side. Okay, that's quite simple. One of those is rose red, actually. I think that's rose red. This one's a berry burst, I think. And then it might be melon mambo. And then you need 2 pieces of white, obviously 1 if you're doing 1 box, that measure 8.5 by 7.25, and score these at 1 inch on each side, and just move them slightly away from the side by 1/16 of an inch, just so that the lids fit nicely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a piece of floral DSP onto the top of each box, and I've left myself quite a nice edge around the lid. I'm going to tie up with some ribbon. This is Emerald Envy ribbon, I think. Or is it Garden Green? Might be Garden Green. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's retired. So that's just going to go on there, and then I'm just going to tie a piece of ribbon around the box, and that's going to be it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this on first before I do anything else. This paper is from the same stack as the paper I used for the cards, just a different design again. And I decided not to embellish the lid at all, because there's no need. So I'm just going to do this, pop this on. Just going to keep it nice and simple. If you were gifting these to somebody, you might want to put a tag on them. We are gifting them, but we also are mindful of the fact that I don't know where I've put my bone folder. Right, so I'm going to start with I'm going to let those dry and start with the boxes. So very, very simple. Just burnish all the score lines. And then I'm going to do all my burnishing at once. So burnish all the score lines. The only reason this is a different pink is because I just picked up the wrong cardstock and I cut it before I realised, and I thought, oh well, I'm not going to waste it, I'm going to go with it. It doesn't matter, it's a shade of pink. These are going to different people, so unless they watch this video, they won't even realise that they were different. Okay. I love batch making cards. I like assembling them. I don't like all the die cutting and stuff. I suppose that's where it comes in handy to have I have got a cutting machine. I was going to say it's where it comes in handy to have a cutting machine, but I have got a cutting machine. But I can't bother to get it out. So I'm going to cut up the 2 ends here. So the score line up to the first horizontal, and then I'm going to notch notch in a bit. These scissors are amazing. I got them from Aldi, £2.99 for 2 pairs. Right, so all we're going to do is glue on the tabs and fold in. So I'm not even decorating the sides of the box or anything because the lid comes down more or less all the way. Keep it nice and square. Make sure you burnish really well. You won't have a problem with this. Press down with a bone folder, right into the corner. There we go. That's our first box. Second box. That's a little odd. Okay, and then our cards. Make sure half my hair isn't in it. My hair stuck there. Cards and envelopes can go in. I'm also going to pop the bookmarks in with these because they're a similar design. I've oversized my boxes for a reason. I mean, you can fit more cards in, or the person receiving it, if it's a gift, they can pop more cards in themselves. I'm going to pop in a couple more little gifts in there, so that's why I needed the more space. And just whack the lid on. And look at that for a perfect fit and a perfect box. And I'm just going to do the other one and then I'll stick the ribbon on and then we're done. And like I say, there's room in there. You could fit probably another 5 cards in there. So you could make it a 10 card box, or like I say, you could put in other little gifts if you wanted to, which is what I'm going to be doing. And I will be popping a little sticker on the back of the box. How beautiful is that? Just get that in right. Sometimes I find box lids will fit better. Oh, how beautiful is that? Cross over on the other side. And I'm not going to cut that off yet because, as I said, I'm going to be putting more things in, so I'll wait until I've finished filling my box and then I'll shut it up properly. Okay, so I'll cut those off when I finish them off properly. But there you go, that's my 3D project for today. 2 nice big boxes filled with matching cards and envelopes. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.